is known to the soldiers as Bullethead or Bull. He has a louder voice than I do, and had been hit in the head during the Mexican War, and apparently had not suffered any physical damage. I say apparently. 7. Richardson had a very swarthy complexion, had been a rather successful officer in the Mexican War, had then resigned and was a farmer up in Michigan when he went to the Army. He has a rather swarthy complexion and has 2 nom de guerres. Fighting Dick, which he probably likes, and because of his swarthy complexion, Dirty Dick, which he probably doesn't like. And then you can see the ground rises again, just like a roller coaster. And then when you get on that ridge, just about 200 yards in front of you, the Confederates can see you again. They have not seen you since you came out of these woods. But then they're not going to see you again because you're going down another slope. And when the Confederates see you again, you will be within about 70 yards of them, which is pretty close if you're going to get to know people. And these other people don't like you very well, and they want to kill you. Now, the sunken road has 8 right angles in it. In those days, the good people in Sharpsburg did not like you to be traveling from Keedysville, come into downtown Sharpsburg, just like you do, and do a right into the Hagerstown Road and go north. So they had established, the farmers had a shortcut where you can bypass Sharpsburg. You turn from the Boonesboro Pike, and after doing 7 right angle turns, it brings you out in the Hagerstown Pike. Through years of use, rains and erosion, it has cut a fairly deep trench. It's bounded on each side by a Virginia worm fence. The people in Sharpsburg like it because you got a big problem. If you're using horses to pull heavy wagons or mules, an equine does 9 pounds of manure a day and 7 gallons of urine a day. And then you see these people, these swells in New Orleans, riding around in a buggy. What do those horses pulling that buggy have? They have diapers on. And no horses wore diapers then, I'll promise you that. So that is the reason they have the bypass. Now when the Confederates take position, when Lee only has 18,000 men here, on the morning of the 15th, after he's learned that Sharpsburg is surrendered, and Jackson and his men from Sharpsburg are under orders to join Lee at Sharpsburg, Lee will assign D.H. Hill to hold the area north of the Hagerstown Pike. And lo and behold, they find the sunken road. There's a line of defense where they can take position there, and that's where Hill's men take position. Hill and Jackson are brothers-in-law. They both married the daughters of a Presbyterian divine, so they're old-school Presbyterians. that are Calvinist, and they believe if they win a battle, the Lord is on their side. If they lose a battle, the Lord is not on their side. They're strong believers in predestination. So Hill will place his brigade, his division, which has seen heavy action at South Mountain on Sunday the 14th. He will place them in the sunken road. Longstreet's people will be on the high ground along the ridge just where the Harper's Ferry Road leaves. And that's where they're in position. Jackson, when he arrives, will take position on the Confederate extreme left with 2 divisions and send 1 division, Walker, to watch Snavely's Ford on the extreme right. So that's where the Confederates are now. I'm warning you here, it doesn't get any better. So you better be, some of the people that are having trouble, best be thinking about maybe dropping out when we hit the Rowlett Lane, lead the beehive. The beehives would be, the nearest ones to the house, would be about where the rear people of the mass here are standing. They're the leftmost regiment in the brigade commanded by Dwight Morris. The shells will land in among the hives. The hives will swarm, and they'll have a very difficult time getting the men back in formation. But they're going to have something soon hitting them that are more deadly and more of a big problem than the bees. So having pointed out where the beehives are, now if you're taking the tour, the marker for the beehives is up on Bouvard Lane, which is about 300 yards from where the hives actually were. All right, now let us move around in front of the house.
It was, I put it in the little passenger side.
Now we're going to pass, let's pass between the stone house. You can go on either side of the log house. And we'll all come together in front of the house.
I left my cell phone in.
Know a lot about. So right now, they're going to be shooting at you. They're going to draw your first fire from the enemy here. But you're still going to move closer because you cannot see them. We can see those Confederates off to our left. But right in front of us, unless you're up in front of the column, you can't see the Confederates because they're lying on their bellies with behind the fence rails they piled up. This is going to be very important when the Union finally breaks the line. Union troops will be up here firing down into the sunken underbrush. When I discuss it, that is where they're going to do an archaeological dig in 1987. And they're going to find 4 graves. And I'll talk about them later. Because in each of these graves, except for one, they'll just find the small bones of men. The phalanges, the ribs, and such. Because when they disinterred the bodies, they were paid by the big bones. Skulls, humeruses, femurs, and the hips. And they don't bother with the phalanges and the smaller bones. One of them, they found more of his body, his chest. Reduced to skeleton, and in the chest, in the area near the heart, if you go to the Pry House, you'll see the 4 mini balls, caliber 57, all fired, and you can cover it with your fist. indicating that man was probably hit by those 4 balls all at about the same time. Verifying, yes, they got up to about 30 yards and traded volleys with the enemy. Now you're